Notice I did all of that before hitting record because that's the bonus for showing up early is you learn about little sneaky things. So you guys all know how to go get the book for free now without having to pay anything whatsoever. Go do that. Everybody else watching the recording, you should have been on earlier. But today is Monday. So Terry, what is today all about?
Marketing.
Sal, help them out.
Anything to do this week.
Everything but marketing, right?
Right.
Got it.
So how many of you guys are feeling like March is shaping up to be pretty good? Curiosity. JP feels that way. Terry feels that way. Nobody else, huh? Everybody else feel like, what the heck's going on? So we're going to do a little exercise here. Because it is all about getting the week dialed in. I know this week for us is going to be pretty hectic and pretty crazy. I've got today and tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I get to be graced by the presence of Sir Chris and Sir Sal. I'll be around them Wednesday, Thursday, Friday later this week. I'm excited for the Think Realty event this coming week here on Thursday and Friday. It's actually Sal, just so you know, because I think you're the only one on that's probably going to be at the event. We just had the speaker / vendor / booth call. It's a jam-packed 2 days. It sounds like it's going to be a really, really good one.
Good. Great.
So I'm excited for that. For two things, right? I'm always excited to hang out in the real estate world. I'm excited to maybe learn something new if I pop into a session. Then I'm also excited to be able to try to help as many people as we can while we're there those 2 days, figure out how to get their internet marketing down and what we can do to help them there. So that's my week in a nutshell. Today was all about getting the funnel built so that Thursday we can start telling people, go get your copy of it. And I'm doing pretty well for the week. Other than that, it's all prep for this week. But the exercise we're going to do, I want you guys to go to the chat box. And in the chat, I want you to put your 1 or 2. I'll allow you to have 2. Your 1 or 2 highest priority items you feel need to get accomplished this week. But here's where it gets fun. Immediately after you put that, I want you to put, what is the one thing that you fear will keep you from getting it done?
Me. Oops.
And you got to be more specific, Tony, than me.
Okay, one more time. First things first, and then second.
First, you're going to put in the 1 or 2, no more than 2. Like, I got to get these things done this week. These are the high priorities for my week. And then I want you to put after that, I want you to put what you think the number one thing that could get in the way and stop you. Like, I looked at my week yesterday when I was planning it out, and it was like, all right, the one thing that's got to get done is this funnel. Make sure that's all set. Make sure all the automations are built. Make sure everything's dialed in so that Thursday and Friday I can just tell people, go to marketingislikedating.com. You can get your free copy, pay $5, get it shipped to you, right? But the one thing that can get in the way of that was Mondays are jam-packed of meetings, and Tuesdays, my whole first half of the day is all spent on a golf course networking. So it's like, I got to get this thing done in the couple hours that I have available, or Wednesday is going to be here and I'm going to be traveling. We'll see. I know a couple of you guys are still typing some stuff in, but I'm going to start going through what came in already. Bob, thank you. I saw you put review complete. I appreciate you. Let's see. Eileen, at my personal home on the market, number one problem is if the glass guy does not get my shower doors installed. Sounds like you're selling your personal house. Better get on that glass guy. JP raised $95K for the property we just locked down. What could stop me? I'm traveling and the team lead. Oh, and you playing team leader at the event this week. So it could kind of suck some time away from you, yeah?
For sure. Yep.
Tell us a little bit about the deal. What's the 95K you're trying to raise?
So I'm a certified iBuyer on the EXP Express offers platform, and that's been an amazing source of leads for us up in New Jersey. And this was a lead that came in last week, and we just locked down the contract. This morning. We just locked the contract down this morning, and we've already wholesaled it. We actually already locked down the sale contract for the wholesale, but because it's express offers, we're not allowed to wholesale. So we have to do a back-to-back closing. So I need like $95,000 for literally 5 minutes to purchase this thing so I can resell it. So I got to lock that down. And it's a pretty quick closing. It's in like 14 days.
If I
What's your terms, JP?
if it was a week later, we might talk.
Oh, look at all these opportunities. Let's see. I might be able to make something happen for some people in the group.
Well, Bob did just ask, what's your terms?
Yeah. 1%. You 24 hours, you get 1%. So that's $950. I'll pay for all the wiring and everything. So 1 point for 24 hours. I mean,
I would love my money to trip and fall and find 1,000 friends. Anybody else?
literally, it's like only 5 minutes. I only need it for 5 minutes, but it'll be a 24-hour turnaround.
Yeah.
For
Might even be a
1,000.
little longer than that just because of the wiring times, right?
True. Yeah.
All right, Sal, build landing pages for our marketing focus. What do you mean by that?
Well, we have 3 marketing focuses, pre-foreclosure, probate, and divorce. And we want to have, I think you brought that up last week about having landing pages to use with our marketing to refer people to.
And you might have it down deeper in the chat, but what's going to hold you back from getting that done?
Putting out fires, and we're looking at a new software called PropStream to get some lists for our outbound marketing, because we think we're kind of stalled with some bad lists on what we're using right now. So any advice, any suggestions from anybody for what they're using to build lists with, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Who's got some ideas for anybody here use PropStream? I think Marie does. Sal, you might want to reach out to him. JP, you're using it? John's using it?
Yeah, actually, I talked to Chris today, and
Right.
I recommended PropStream to him today.
Got it. John,
We're using our REIQ, and we've been using it for about a year. Our contract's almost over, but we're just not, we don't think we're getting, we already looked at PropStream and already saw some different things, the differences. So any other suggestions, we appreciate it.
John,
I
you're
use
using it?
PropStream as well.
Oh, you
Eileen,
do?
go ahead.
Okay,
What's
good.
your take on it?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've done pretty well. I don't market a lot, but I mean, I do like the system.
Thank you.
John, any insight?
Yeah, I just pull it for, I usually don't do equity data with it, but I'll pull like pre-foreclosures, different tax liens to stack data with it. So I make a bunch of lists, and I'm able to pull 10,000 records a month, which will keep a code color running. So
yeah, we just compared values, housing values versus the other software, and it was pretty close. The difference we like with PropStream right now is it gives us a lot more filters to look at. So anyway, I won't take up any more time, but if anybody's got any suggestions, please chat me. I'd appreciate it.
That's the point of today, is to help you Chief, we can get this off your plate, so you don't have to
Mhm.
evaluate it too much.
Yep,
Now you can
Yep.
get your action taken, right?
right.
Feel free to reach out to me. I'll jump on Zoom or anything.
All right,
for you
John,
guys.
thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay, John, you're up next. Onboarding virtual cold caller equals he or I get hit by a bus. What do you mean?
You said to put what would happen if it, what'll keep it from happening. So,
Yeah, so the only thing that's going to keep you from getting it done is getting hit by a bus.
yep.
Got it. So your whole focus is the cold caller this week.
Yep. Absolutely.
Love it. Any help you need from the group on that?
I'll let you know next week.
Okay. Lorraine, send in updates for websites. I kind of know what that's about. That's what you and I talked about this morning. And I'm not even going to read number 2. I just want you to do it. But any questions or any help that you might need from somebody in the group?
Number 2 is my forever weekly task. But I think I'm good. I just had to watch the videos and just go on there. But I think this week might be tight for me because I'm traveling later on in the week, so we'll see.
Just watch one video. We'll call that a success for the week. Okay.
Okay.
Lorraine, I may have a solution for you on Lead Vault. I don't know if he's willing to, a VA that's learning Lead Vault. If you-
I'm willing, ready, willing, and able to accept all help and assistance that could help automate this process for me.
Well, you
Okay.
and Terry are very similar. Terry needed to, tap in the support end and bring in another set of hands.
Yeah, it might be the next step.
I'll chat with him later today, see what his thoughts are.
Okay,
Okay, thanks.
Aisa. Oh no, I was gonna say I'm assuming that was Mickey, but then I realized Mickey's actually logged in on her own account today. So this really is Aisa.
Yes.
Follow up on workflows build up. What do you mean, Aisa?
Well, we never really put in the workflows for in the sellers leads. So we have uploaded all the information, but we're working on putting the workflows in there. So I really want to get that worked on this week, get something finalized with that.
Got it. Need help from anybody?
Yes, we're already reached out to Kim and her husband, I believe Mickey, right? So I'm just gonna try to see if we can get that, at least one of them just kind of put together and finalize and
Okay.
get it started, because we're starting to get, the cold callers are starting to get some hits. So I just want to make sure everything is tracked.
What's gonna get in your way?
Real estate is picking up. So because I'm a full-time agent, as you know, I have a client. We're just out during the weekend, offers, and it's becoming crazy again. So just making time early in the morning to work on the lead vault and then dealing with real estate the rest of the day.
Got it.
Schedule. I'm just gonna fit my schedule right.
Okay. Victor, number 1, upload 3 albums of before and after of your fix and flip to Google Drive. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
After that's uploaded to the Google Drive, you're going to email support. And you're going to tell them, here's the before and afters of this property. Please create the property page with the before and after photos used in it.
Got it.
Is the project done? Sold?
This is from the portfolio, so yes.
So it's not an available thing. It's done, sold, off the book. Was it ever listed?
Yeah, all my properties were listed.
So send them the link to the listing where there's some data, information, square footage, all that kind of crap that's in there. Just send them the file folder and send them the link and tell them create a property page. And here's some before and afters to use. And here's the link to the old listing with all the details about it.
Got it.
I think you have a number 2 down here. I just noticed. Go through the
Yeah.
list of absentee owners and pick out 100 to contact for. So you want to pick out 100 of them out of the whole list.
Yeah, to start calling, start cold calling 100 single family resident owners.
Why'd you pick 100?
Well, I figured with everything that I have on my plate to call 100, well, to pick them out first. I'm not sure how long that's gonna take because I got to cross-reference with the public information. And then I just picked out 100 just because that should take me at least 3 days to call. And then I'll go back again to pick out another 100.
Mickey, let's see if you remember. What's this called? Bob, I saw you unmute really fast, so you must know too.
Talk to freaking Kilduff.
This is called painful.
That too.
I've talked about this before. I love the strategy. What did I call it?
The suite, it wasn't 100 because I was gonna go do it. So we actually, Victor, you and I have the same goal, but I'm doing it for 50. So suite 50, that's what I.
Yeah, you can call it whatever. I call it the dream 100 if it's 100. It could
there
be
you go.
the perfect
Yeah.
40. It could, the sweet 50. The concept, Victor, I don't know if you're doing it off of some of my old trainings or if you just thought of this, but the concept is, hey, why should I just cold call a bunch of people without any research, only to land one to do the research on it when I could do the research up front and scrub away from thousands down to, hey, this pocket right here, here's 100 solid ones. Not that I put a ton of time in. It's just, hey, if one of these 100s actually want to sell, chances are it's in an area, it matches criteria, it fits the box, right? That I would actually want to spend some time trying to investigate.
Got it.
Instead of sitting down and smiling and dialing for 1,000 names where I don't really know what's going on with them. Spend a little time up front, do some research, nail it down. Hey, this zip code, here's the criteria. These properties all fit that criteria. Now let me go to work going after my dream 100, where I know, all right, if one of these 100s say, yes, Victor, sounds great, let's talk numbers, you know it's worth your time because you've already kind of gotten rid of the junk. Will you get rid of all of it? No, you're still going to stumble on some that you end up finding out later, wasn't the best option still, but you got a better likelihood, right? Better chance that one of those 100 are going to work out better for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're doing your cross-referencing, I would figure out what's your criteria, what's your box that in a quick analysis, what's the box that these need to fit in? Do they need to be in a certain zip code? Do they need to be a certain size, square footage, bed bath count? Do they need to be in location to something specific, or whatever your buy box is? That my dream would be these. We find all the ones in this list that fit that. Now let me go to work doing a multi-touch campaign against that.
Got it.
It's gonna be. I might need to do that as a deeper training.
Yeah.
Here soon. Anybody, who would actually like that as a deeper training? Terry. All right, Terry, you and I can do it privately in the backwoods of the John Muir Trail.
I just had my the list. The guy got pissed because I only wanted certain zip codes. I don't do all San Diego County. I only wanted certain zip codes, which narrowed it down, and I got 50 that I wanted. He wasn't happy with that, but he still sold it to me.
Yep. All right, let's see. That was Sal's. That was Victor. Mickey. Find a person to do the driving for dollars in Baltimore. Number 2, have to sort out the 50 perfect sellers from the tired landlord list. And then what'd you put? It just moved on me. What's stopping me? Not blocking time just for that. What do you mean by that?
It sounds, for the driving for dollar, it's not that bad. It's actually just sitting down and getting the 50 done. It doesn't sound fun to me. And so lately I realized when something is not fun, I will do everything else than that. Like it will be like at the bottom of my things to do. And then I'll be like, oh, the day has gone by. I've done so many things except the thing that actually needs to be done because it wasn't that fun. So I'm just going to time block this week in getting that done. And, you know, even if I don't get the rest of the things done, like this is highly my priority.
Okay. Any questions or things you need from the group? Ideas, thoughts, anything you want to ask everybody?
Yes. Can someone share some of your criteria for like, those are like small multi-units. So they can be like from like duplex to like sixplex. What will be like, because I'm trying to figure out like my perfect avatar, but could it be also just the person itself and not necessarily the house itself or the building itself?
Bueller.
Hello? You're all thinking. That's very good. Keep thinking.
What's your exact question, Mickey?
My exact question is it, can someone share their criteria?
So like Sal, what is if I gave you 3 seconds back of the envelope to look at basic information, what's a buy box for you?
For multifamily?
Just any type of property, things that in your market, which you like to look at. What are, if I gave you 5-10 seconds to look at some data, what would be your buy box?
ARVs.
I'm gonna help everybody out.
Cash flow.
Because I think this is what Mickey means. If Mickey said, hey, Shawn, here's this list of potential rental properties. They range anywhere. What do they range from, Mickey? Duplexes all the way to what?
To like sixplexes.
Okay. And she was like, hey, help me kind of put a buy box around this. If I look back at when we were actively going after rental properties, my buy box was this. Is it an A class or B class rental area? Meaning the zip code of that, does it fall where I can get A or B rents? Because I want Bs. I never really wanted to go after the A's. Just need the Bs. I'm happy with those. So does it have an A or a B? If it has a B, boom, it's in my box. Is it a minimum of 3 bedroom? I didn't want any 2s. 2s were really hard to rent. Does it have at least 1.5 bathrooms? And then we had a list of like 6 different zip codes. So that would be my other box. Is it in one of these zip codes or close enough to that zip code that I like it? And if I was scrubbing data, that was kind of like my buy box. If it fit that, and if I can have the majority of those boxes saying yes, then that goes into my my buy box. And I'm going to go further into the evaluation, further into the attack of getting that. That makes sense, Mickey?
It's actually perfect because those are the ones that'll be receiving, you know, my special letter with the wax seal on it. Yes.
Sal, does that make sense? You're muted. I can read your lips.
That makes more sense than what I said. Yes.
Yeah. So Victor, same thing for the list that you're scrubbing. That's what I mean by a buy box. Now, if I was going flips, right, we're not buying rentals. Now I was looking at, does it fall? I wasn't necessarily tied to zip codes. I was tied to school districts for my flips. Does it fall in one of these 5 school districts? Yes, great. That moves in. Is it at least 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, or is that, do I know enough of homes in that area where I could probably get a second bathroom if it doesn't have it? Because I at least needed 3 2s. Does it have attached garages? In Northeast Ohio, it was very common to find property, but they had detached garages, and those don't carry the value because nobody wants to get out of their car in a garage and then have to walk to the house in the snow. They want to be able to just walk straight into the house, right? So does it have a attached garage? Was it at least 1,500 square feet or more? Under 1,500 square feet was a little too small. Was it a slab or basement? I didn't want slabs for my flips. I wanted slabs on the rental side, but I did not want slab homes for flips. It had to have basement. So does that particular neighborhood, is it majority slab or majority basement? These are some of the buy boxes that I had on the flip side of things. If we were going apartment complex, and this is still something when I look at apartments that I pay attention to, is it individually metered versus 1 meter? Not one. A lot of older areas of our market, it was 1 meter. So there'd be 6 units in the building, but there was 1 meter for gas or water. That means I had to rebill out to the tenants every month or add a additional charge to rent to offset that, or I had to spend about 10, 15 grand to separate it and individually meter every single unit. So I actually wanted to find units that had already done that and they were individually metered. It was better for us. These type of things were the buy boxes around it. Now, did it have covered parking versus uncovered parking? You know, how much landscape maintenance, yard maintenance? Was that an area where the property was, the property grounds was small? That was less that I had to eat the cost on, right? Again, this is just back of the envelope, really quick. I got a list right now for the event this coming week. I got a list of like 2,500 names, or 2,500 entries that are people that are either attending, registered, and are going to be online, were marketed to, whatnot. Well, guess what? Some of those are also the other vendors. So as I'm sitting down, and I'm not just going to upload this 2,000 plus list into the database and start launching marketing to them. I want to go through and look at it and be like, does this email have does the email look like one of the vendor names? Let me scrub those off because I don't want to market to the other vendors. I want to find what I think is the attendees. Anybody else got thoughts on a buy box? Things that maybe I didn't say that you would put in there.
Now that I know what we're talking about, Shawn, we started using a buy box. It's maybe not be the first one, but we found from the police reports in our county, which counties had the highest murder rates. Mm-hmm. And we use those as knockouts. There's 12 of them. We took the top 5 and we said, you know what, even if we got a great price on a property, who would want to live there? So we just knocked it out. That's our knockout, one of our knockout factors.
Yep. Anybody else? John, JP, I know you guys are pretty active.
Sal, where do you find that at? Just Google the local.
Yeah, we did it. We did dumb. We just Googled the county and we say zip codes with highest murder rates or thefts or break-ins, and then we got the information.
Okay, thank you.
Bob said public transportation, hospitals, again, depending on what the exit strategy is. Public transportation, if I was going on my rental properties in more of the B class area, that was actually a plus. I wanted to be close to it. I can assume, Mickey, public transportation in Baltimore, probably a big thing. So that might actually be a plus, not necessarily a negative. These type of things. Hospitals, a lot of our tenants were in the medical field. So if the rental property was near the larger medical facilities, that was a bonus for us. But a flip, probably don't want to have it, 2 blocks from a massive hospital that gets, 18 light siren running ambulances a day going into it. Anybody else on that? Okay. So with the few minutes that we have left, how many has ever done my ABCDE exercise? I know, Terry, you have. I don't know about anybody else. I've done it a few times. A's, you just listed your A's. A's are like, I got to do them, high priority, got to get it done, my major focus, right? So with the remaining time, what I want you to do is just really quick think about B's are secondary. B's are like, once my A's done, this would, if those, that one or two things got done, then this would be the next thing that I would think needed to be done this week. That would be a B. C's are, if I can get to it this week, great. If I can't, no big deal. It's not quite a high priority yet. Your C's will probably be a B or an A shortly. Lead vault setup for Lorraine has been a C for months. It's finally a B or A, right? Terry, same thing. It was a C for the longest time, and it finally became an A. So think about some of your B's and C's. And then D's. D's are things that you think you got to do them, but really D stands for delegate. I could delegate that to somebody else. A VA, my partner, a team member. I can delegate that to support if it's something you've been trying to, take care of. Delegate could also be, hey, I got to just stop doing this period and I need to just figure out a solution to have that done. E's are things that you can eliminate. So every week when I sit down and look at my week, E's are my big ones. I really pay attention to what is stuff I'm trying to jam in this week that really I just don't even need to be focused on. Let me just eliminate that. And for me, a lot of times it's non-business stuff. I'm very active in our Kiwanis club with a lot of Kiwanis events. I'm very active with our chamber with a lot of different chamber events. There's a lot of times where I have to eliminate some of those things because I want to be part of it. I want to do all of them, but there's other things that are a little bit more priority than going to that cleanup or going to that event or going to this thing over here or attending this meeting this particular week. I'll give you a couple minutes to think through it. I know you're not going to get through all of it, but after this call, I encourage you to sit down and really think through what would be like a B. C's, if I can get them, great. D's and E's, though, those are the big ones. What can I delegate away? What can I just forget it? I'm not even going to take care of it right now. You got a question, Sal? Oh, you're on the phone. Anybody kind of have an idea of some of these already?
So you're saying I can't delegate lead vault is what you're saying?
No, you 100% could delegate it. If you had somebody to delegate it to.
Right.
Like if you talk to Terry and the guy that he delegated his to, if he's willing to take yours on, there you go.
I didn't know that was the solution. Okay. Well,
Girl, everything in business is delegatable. There's very, very few things that you can't delegate. Like tonight's meeting, you showing up and presenting, you can't delegate that.
I can't delegate that.
No. I might be able to teach a little bit of your stuff, but I sure don't look like the rain. But I delegate a lot. I'll put it that way. I delegate a lot and I eliminate a lot. There's a lot of stuff that we cut out. And that's a hard one for me. I'm a very, very creative individual. I have a lot of ideas a lot of times, and I really want to make those ideas come to life. But sometimes I have to really put my own foot down and just, I temporarily will eliminate. I have a running list that I keep of just Shawn's ideas. And every month, every quarter, we kind of revisit it and ask, is now the time to do that? Anybody got a couple things down at least? What you got, John? I see you looking. I see your thumbs up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get to a point where I have somebody do my lead management. It's getting too consuming, especially adding a code caller. It's going to get crazy. So,
what do you mean
that's
by that?
Just tracking all the lists and all the dispo of the. So I'll have the code caller do some, but keeping up with the stacking and keeping new leads in. So it's going to turn into a full-time job for somebody that I'll be bringing on. Hopefully it's the code caller, roll them into that as they get, and then bring another one in depending on how their skill set is, but we'll see.
Not Zach right now?
No, he's acquisitions, go look at the house guy. He's not
Is he looking at houses 9 straight hours a day?
I wouldn't say 9 hours, but pretty much a lot of it. And he's doing the text, a lot of the manual text stuff too.
Okay.
So yeah. That's the next one for me at least.
And that actually brings up a big point. When we do these things, this is kind of what we talk about on our Monday executive calls with the team. Matter of fact, Itzel and Roger are inside of a massive project right now where they're really kind of breaking down a process, an internal process of ours. And they're really kind of taking the same concept, A, B, C, D, E, and looking at like, what are the steps that must happen? What are the supporting steps after that? That'd be more of a B, right? What's the stuff that we would like in there? That's more of a C, but maybe we don't need to stress about it too much right now. But where they're really putting a lot of focus is the D and E. What could be, in our case, D, I would look at delegate more as automate, right? What can we automate out of this process to make it easier? And then what's getting in the way? What can we eliminate in the process to make it easier and less cumbersome? And it's something that's stemmed out of those of you guys that are in the Accelerator Dominator Mastermind, you know, the details on this, stemmed out of our sabbatical time. Some things that we learned through that before the next one in April, trying to clean up a couple of these processes to make it a little less hectic, right? A little easier. But John, to your point, it was because of that we realized, oh crap, we got to clean this up. And through cleaning it up, they're starting to realize we're probably going to need to maybe hire one or two new people potentially to fulfill on what we needed to happen.
Yeah, that's the one that I always look at it as optimize and maximize. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's a better position to come hiring somebody, right? When Roger comes to me and says, hey, Shawn, we need to bring 2 new people on. And here's kind of the expected salary that we're going to increase by a month. It's not just on a whim. It's not just because, oh, I'd love to hire somebody. It's, hey, we've gone through this and we kind of identified, and this is what we need, and this is what their role is going to be. And kind of here's their job description, and they'll know, what it is. We're able to make those decisions now from a better space because we plan the week. We know what needs to be happening. We see where the gaps are. We're able to start to fill those.
Do you have a rule of thumb for the multiplier, like 3 or 5 times revenue for that position that you're going to pay to revenue?
It depends. And I was this way in the real estate side as well. Not every position in a company is a direct contributor to bottom line revenue, right? So in the real estate world, if anytime we wanted to scale and add a new employee, I would always ask, the first question is their position expected to create more revenue? If I'm going to bring somebody on that's going to be helping with the marketing or sales side of the business, 100%, that should generate more revenue, right? So in your case, somebody coming on that's going to handle management of the list, management of the stacking, management of all this data coming through and kind of cleaning all this stuff up, that means their role should be freeing up the time of somebody else in that same department that's directly related to the actual income production, right? Whether that be you, whether that be Zach, right? Something like that. So by bringing them on, that should equate to more money coming into the company because we should be able to do more deals. That was question one. Question number two was, what's the pay? If I'm going to pay that person, let's say average salary in Northeast Ohio was about $45,000 a year at that time, right? This is 2012, 2016 kind of time frame. I could bring somebody on for about 45 grand a year. Well, our average rehab profit, if I did one deal, the average return on that we would get was about 20 to 25,000. So if I'm bringing this person on, they're directly related to it, then what I should see is at a minimum 2 more projects to cover their cost. For it to be profitable, we need to at least do 3 more by bringing them on. Because now their direct work has resulted in the opportunities that have brought us the income to pay their salary. And now today in the development and kind of the back end of what you guys know as of this company, it's the same thing. When Roger says, hey, we need to bring another developer on, it's like, okay, why? Well, development's overwhelmed because we're on a growth spurt. We know one developer can take on X number of projects a week kind of thing. So by bringing on this new developer, we should be able to add, give you the free reign to go sell X number of new clients per month. Okay, cool. That makes sense. By bringing them on, I can open more sales opportunities, right? More intake to help more individuals. But let's say on our support side, if we get to a point where it's like, well, we need another support member, support isn't directly related to income production. So I'm not going to look at it from what revenue should that create, but what is a support role directly tied to? Customer satisfaction, right? Customer relations, keeping our brand intact, to the level, the quality that we want it to be at. So I don't necessarily care if it's going to directly relate in more income to the company, but is it moving the company forward still? Absolutely. So I wouldn't put a expected dollar amount to something like that, but if it's needed, it's needed, right? If Max says, hey, I'm overwhelmed and I can't do all of this, and he's done that. We've got multiple people on the support side for that reason. Does that make a little more sense, John?
Yep, absolutely.
That's why it kind of goes back to the question that all of you are avoiding, other than Bob and John in the Facebook group, where I asked if you had the opportunity, if a deal landed in your lap and you just had to pay for it, it was going to make you 30 to 50K, what would that cost you? And it wasn't because I was pitching anything. I just wanted to test your brains a little bit and see how many of you guys how many know the numbers of your own business. Because at the end of the day, business is just run by numbers. Early on, we bootstrap it. We do it all ourselves. But at some point, we got to start asking ourselves, if I had to pay to get an opportunity, it's going to make me 30 or 50K. How much would I pay for that? Well, for some of you guys, paying for an assistant could bring you an opportunity that was 30 to 50,000. Paying for your marketing to be done for you could bring you an opportunity that's 30 to 50,000, right? Paying for a VA doesn't even need to be a full-time in-house next to you all day long, touching shoulders, right? But at the end of the day, it all goes back to planning too, which is why we like starting off the week on Mondays thinking through, what do I got to get done this week? Because if the needle's not moving forward every single week, and your business is no different today than it was last week, than it was back in January, folks, we're rolling into the end of Q1. And we get to the end of the year and all of a sudden it's like, crap, I didn't really get much done this year. And in the real estate space, how do you make money? There's only 2 ways. All y'all shaking your head and smiling. Tony, what's the answer?
Buying and selling.
Well, buying property to sell, right? That's what we call active income, actively turning opportunities. What's the only other way that we can get paid really in real estate?
Rentals.
Passively, right? Through our assets. So every single month, we need to be creating active income. And at some point, the goal is to have passive income so I don't have to do as much active income. But guess what? If I want to grow my passive income, what do I also have to grow to create more passive opportunities? Active income. Well, active income only happens when we what? In real estate.
When we're active in real estate.
Marketing?
When you're talking to sellers and making offers. That's no different than in my business here. If I don't get on calls and talk to real estate individuals, real estate professionals, and talk to them about our marketing services that we can help them with, we don't get new clients. It's the same thing if I went full-time back in as a real estate investor only. If I'm not knocking on doors and meeting people and shaking hands and meeting sellers and discussing their opportunities and giving them offers for their properties, will I ever get one? No. We can't sit and wait. We can't sit and hope. We can't sit and think that nine sellers are just going to, randomly reach out to us tomorrow and tell us to buy their house. We have to actively get it, which is why it's called work. So that's why the importance on making sure your A activities for the week are the highest priorities that are going to move the needle in making me money. Everything else, supporting. They're B's and C's. All good?
Yes, sir.
One of these, not this week, because it's going to be a short week on our end. Itzel will be launching the call on Wednesday and Thursday to give you guys a space to come on and chat and talk. If she wants to guide conversation on stuff, she might. But then we'll pick back up next week. But I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll throw on